Framing. Militarism is rampant. Police forces fetishize their tanks while parading around Ferguson, killing peaceful blacks in their wake. Violence is seen as a solution to every problem, smothering critical and ethical thought. Politics have become nothing more than an extension of the never-ending war waged by the punishing violent state as disposability is nearing its endgame. Pedagogical spaces need to fully commit to being educational spaces in which students can develop into critical advocates for social change. The role of the ballot and the judges to vote for the debater who best methodologically fights back against militarism. Giroux 5. Tension between democratic values and market fundamentalism has reached a breaking point. Racism has become celebrated in politics, and disposability comes close to its endgame of determination for those considered excess. Totalitarianism, state violence, smother critical thought, social responsibility, ethical machination, and politics. The militarization of police power thereby punishing state has descended on the U.S. Politics has become an extension of war at sea. So as violence increasingly find legitimation. Education has to be viewed as crucial to overcoming the current crisis. Educators and students need to reclaim the role that education has historically played in developing critical and civic capacity. It's a need to use education to mobilize students to be critically engaged in addressing issues. Educators need to recognize the power of education and creating a form of culture that's there to challenge against justice and democracy. And militarism has inflicted massive suffering and casualties. Without immediate action, militarism will lead us into a death spiral that threatens the planet and humanity. That's try or die CAC 11. Militarism has inflicted massive suffering and civilian casualties. Militarism is like the largest single source of greenhouse gas emissions on the planet. Access to moral liberty, which is the fundamental cause of climate change, is the primary underlying motive for current wars. Both are running large areas of inhabitable displacing millions. Climate change is like a result of far more wars, being a threat multiplier and now recognized as the greatest blooming threat to security access to more resources already. Challenges yet to likely to conflict and further chasing militarism are just sorts of toxic chemical radioactive wasting around the globe in place to make sure we're promoting false solutions that worsen the global economies that triple military access to basic healthcare. Major greenhouse gases have led the efforts to obstruct progress. Our global economies being bombed with carbon dioxide resulting towards the concentration of wealth power with the extent of the planet and humanity. We will not accept that that's why I love militarism. And discursive reforms are key to solving militarism. Let's 10. Militarization involves intensification of resources allocated to military purposes. Militarization simultaneously discursive process involving a shift in general societal beliefs and values in ways necessarily legitimate the use of force. Militarization is the less visible deformation of hierarchies, these are race, class, gender, and sexuality, and shaping national histories ways that qualify legitimate military action. The United States is the largest Western for this global process. Offense. America's affliction is for violence is deeply rooted in its gun culture. Wolpin and Gimbel 98. Gun culture originates about predisposition as the result of pre-adult socialization. Gun culture refers to sentimental attachment of many Americans to forensics. Attachment is rooted in the connection to guns and the independence of frontier experience, athletic sporting uses, and cultural tradition. Gun culture revolves around those who can use guns for hunting, sporting, and related purposes. Opponents of gun control, including the end or the deliberately casting gun control issue, more times attitudes toward gun control may be similar by traditional affective symbolic preferences. And handguns have attained a psychological cultural value that creates backlash. Bromberg 85. 65% of all homicides are due to the use of handguns has attained a psychological value in account of surrounding to a cultural form. The value that defenders again to improve self-image, love, and pursuit to fantasize the extended body image. All groups are locked in homeostasis, is why society is unable to act under control, which requires real what is required is appreciation of the psychological tendency to rationally rather than do nothing but ourselves or accept acceptance of the situation will help. Advocacy. I affirm the resolution in the United States private ownership of handguns ought to be banned. Solvency. 1. Civil rights movement approves laws affect culture. Masket 15. Liberals are calling for restrictions on access to weapons. Gun culture runs deep, but laws can be changed under the civil rights movement. Strategy pressure black officials and child lawsuit. And segregation to give voting rights persuade the public to change the culture. Southern white culture did eventually change it. Followed right and preceding the change of the law. We have seen law issues to the laws affecting same-sex supports, abortion, poverty, health insurance, all issues that deem complicated issues. These changes came because we've advocated for the pressure to judicial legislative the branches to respond culture to different legal change. The Constitution assuming this issue is untouchable because it's complex or cultural. Has seen legal changes anyway and done good. 2. Handguns keep Loyola 9 summarizes. American people consider the handgun to be quintessential system made for handgun disease, so readily accessible gun that needs to be redirected with handguns are the most popular weapon chosen by Americans and amendments which children on the rights of firearms. 3. Banning handguns changes gun culture, decreases murder, doesn't cause substitution. Lafayette 2K. The presence of guns and higher murder rate correlates to significant to 0.01 level culture that between European and American cultures, the widespread presence of guns curtailing the private possession of guns by Western Americans supposed to be less violent, not only through guns, but directly causing clouding by the crimes that also going to reshape the culture of life, etc. to make certain handguns are just more to use in homicides and robberies. More than 80% of gun homicides, 90% of gun robberies involve handguns. They hate transit, candidates such as the criminals, that's what long against handguns and available give compelling reasons to abolish handguns. 4. A big show of ban reduces cultural fascination with guns. Lamu 14. Arguments made by gun thieves, this culture-based argument can be tested at an international level between 25 and just less countries, so it's statistically significant correlation between firearm ownership rate and the following percentage of GDP devoted to military expenditure to total money spent on gun moves, also the rate of money spent on gun moves, also topic regulation regarding gun access is negatively correlated to gun ownership rates. In other words, it would be more restricted to gun regulations, not to lower the gun ownership rate. Under B. Handgun is a racist symbol, KU99. Gun means racism. Historically, status conferred by gun ownership was important with a symbol of white male status. Gun connotations of white supremacy were no doubt really intensified by the assassinations of the MLK commitment to racial equality and more reinforced social media that gun is a denial of solidarity for handgun a declaration of war against one's black neighbors. And refusal to engage in politics means I control external impacts. Boggs 2K. The 16 power remains intact and insulated critique minimalism against hard watch to at least it is actually for your opposed words of politics and reduced evident by the the people who work in the news authority that exploitated and authoritarian system of politics are at least that corporate colonization, social hierarchy, sexual activity, military institutions, matching 3D, public space vacated by citizens at least more room to solve their own power. Disclosure under review. Interpretation. Debaters may only read positions that are disclosed before the debate on their NDC wiki page under their own name and open source. Because of violations is not open source. Deeper research. Disclosure means the community blasts your stock arguments and on specific research on particular cases, increases in education, balances research burdens, and free writing. She benefits from debaters who are open source but doesn't do it herself, which is unstable and gets a huge predictability and prep advantage. Drop the debater. It's key to enforce good community norms. LTA is way behind it. It's time to catch up. No neg RBS since we had to group. You can perforce any issue with 6 to my 3 and you were NR, which is specially pronounced on theory, which is heavy line by lining. Politics under review. Winners win green 10. There's a reciprocal relationship with presidential boldness and achievement. Nothing breeds success like this. This is a matter of perception. Congress put outside of the fond over bold president to create a steamroll effect of clubby atmosphere of Congress that could be given the illusion of being next power being even part of that team. And PC theory false. Jacobs and King 10. Personality is not a foundation for explanation to a presidential attack. Carter and George campaign will success on Lyndon Johnson, Reagan, decades of research on structural forces often most compelling related to quantitative research that compares sexes and personality finds no relation to institutional dynamics and ideological limits to Trump, the personal friend relations and President Obama's leadership is called the Washington by generation scholarship.
Okay. Process?
Yep.
Let's start on the disclosure underview. So why isn't disclosing full text sufficient?
Well, because you're literally going out of your way to unhighlight things and hide things in the big block text. When you have a 6-paragraph or 10-paragraph card, right, you removing the highlighting
Okay,
that's
so
10
let's talk
seconds
about
of reading.
research then.
Hide
What's the warrant? This says that disclosure means that the community. Yeah. What's the warrant?
Well, if people disclose, then we're able to get through stock arguments because everyone has those immediately, and you can just move straight to the specific stuff, get into deeper details, and do more research, more prep.
What would be best for deep research is just not disclosing at all?
No, that would be
because then
terrible.
we'd all do our own research.
No, because then we'd all be doing research into substitution, and we'd all find the collect article or Copel article about, they'll get to illicit markets.
Okay,
rather than getting past
that. What's the free riding argument?
Yeah, you benefit from debaters who are not open source. So you don't open source, which means anyone who does is at a disadvantage because you have more prep and more predictability against our arguments.
Okay. All right, let's talk about the framework arguments in the app. So, or actually the no neg RBIs, is that just only specific to me? Like, the app gets RBIs?
Yeah, because you have 6 minutes in the NR to 3 in the 2AR, which is really bad with heavy line-by-lining on theory.
Okay.
Like a line-by-line thing for 6 minutes, there's no way I can come back from that in the 2AR.
Okay, that's fine. Okay, so let's talk about the framing argument. So are there any arguments any framing arguments in the app that would exclude critiques? Are there any
I don't know what you mean. I mean, like, there's bogs in the underview. Is that what you mean? I don't know quite what you're saying. Like,
No,
there's not a reason, like,
arguments.
I'm not going to be like, you triggered XYZ that takes out any sort of K stuff. But, like, I will use things like bogs or Giroux to take out a K if it does not apply or does not engage in policy, etc.
Okay, so Giroux says that it's educational to talk about militarism. Why does that mean that arguments that don't necessarily?
Yeah, Giroux says actually that it's crucial for educators and students alike to fight and take down militarism, and that they are uniquely key. Historically, staff education has been one of the key factors that prevented a militarized state and kept us in civic capacities.
Does the app get offense from the consequences of a plan or the intellectual stance that the advocacy takes?
I would say from the impacts of the plan. I defend implementation.
Okay. Are there any arguments in the app that says that policymaking is the only educational form of debate?
Not that verbatim. I mean, Giroux says we need to focus on militarism, the Boggs evidence, and that underview says we need to focus on the politics. Maskett says we need legal change.
What does it mean to focus on the politics?
Yeah, so we shouldn't just break ourselves from the political sphere. Basically, if you read some foofy stuff about analyzing racial history, that probably would not apply according to Boggs, because it would lead to consolidation of power.
All right, I'm going to prep. Did you read an implication, like drop the debate or drop the argument on
Drop
that?
the debater.
Drop the debater. Okay.
Yeah. Key to enforce good community norms.
Okay.
Is behind.
I have 33 left. One in CTOC round 5. Wait, actually, sorry, it's a little bit longer. Did you justify competing in terms of reasonability?
I didn't speak to the matter.
Okay. 228 left. The order is going to be 2 off case. On case, we're starting with the underview, and then it'll be top down. Is everyone ready?
Yep.
The 180's total life and God skills vital life coming to terms with our ability to convert that into defensive value is key to pedagogy of social responsibility. Peterson 15, God availability, God culture, and office and culture is a set of ideas which one generation passes and there's practice of responsible gun culture, understand that guns are deadly, and the internal implications of power that gun confer the responsibility comes with the elders communicate the value of life. Life is so valuable it's to be worthy of defense. Treat the gun as if it were loaded, never pointed at anyone with the sole to a real situation where you have to defend yourself or others. That term case focusing on the gun control supposed to the pedagogical transmission encourage the violence to transfer the root cause of militarism. As you wrote, 13, gun control is the only factor of the in the culture of symbolic violence. It goes far beyond gun control. When gun control is the focus, it can deflect the most important questions of violence saturates American gun culture. Popular culture versus violence is entertainment. The real issue is pedagogy that makes deadly violence attractive. The alternative to embrace a culture of gun responsibility, understanding our relationship to lethal force through a paradigm of social connectedness, solves nihilistic violence. Bachman, 12. One of the reasons that the Ukraine right is Switzerland is low despite the prevalence of weapons is a culture of responsibility that is anchored in society. Social conditions are fundamental to deter crime. The culture of support can deter killings of people. Organizing direction, there will be less risk of violence. That sense of civic responsibility is one of the reasons that Swiss have never allowed their guns to come under fire. And empirics through all solvency, the 40s and 50s were defined by a culture of gun responsibility which prevented violence. Peterson 15. In the 40s and 50s, gun ownership was more common and less regulated. There were shootings back then, but they were less frequent and less deadly. The deadly school massacres occurred in the new millennium. A society must maintain a gun culture that instills the obligation to preserve life. The recent rise in shootings suggests that as a nation we are failing at this. And prefer the city's mute evidence because it proves that in the United States a healthy gun culture helped prevent gun deaths. And gun culture is inevitable. It's in the cultural DNA of America. Try back for the only purchasing gun culture for our good is our only hope. All 15 Americans want guns. It's in their cultural DNA. Laws may ban this weapon or that they will always be gun ownership. There are 300 million guns in the country which equates to 1 gun per person. Any power is brought through the NRA is really derived from the people. All the types of Americans who have guns. Gallup found that nearly 3/4 of Americans said that there should not be a ban on handguns. Gun culture is so deeply ingrained in American life. Guns aren't in the U.S. aren't going to disappear. And and prefer this to his new evidence because 80% of the U.S. consider the cultural and historical trends that are responsible for American gun culture. Cross-country comparisons don't provide accurate information on this question because other countries don't have cultural identities predicated on gun ownership. B. Accounts of the effects of a handgun ban are evidence indicates that people polled on the question of whether or not a handgun ban would be desirable and overwhelmingly said no. That our empirically explains our ideological orientation argument because people have already made up their minds about this issue. C. The absence of ban all firearms, only handguns are evidence indicates that the government may ban one type of gun, but that is insufficient to eliminate the gun culture because there will always be gun ownership of firearms. And critical intellectualism is key to social movements. Jones signed the essential political task of intellectuals is to undermine failing discourse through educational activity. The ideas are important changes, the product of interactions of ideas and material reality. But these people in the 1980s and touches had an effect on not only short-term policy but also the discourses of security. Initially, intellectuals dismissed the concept as idealistic and cut the card there. Next off, right-wing extremism is declining with that for the adoption of far-right issues by mainstream politicians plus extreme activism. SPLC, 14 radical right numbers are down. The potential for violence remain high. The SPLC found significant decline within the anti-government movement. These groups fell 19%. Factors contributed to the decline of the adoption of far-right issues by mainstream politicians. And handgun bans, radicalized right-wing extremists lead to lone wolf terrorism and violent paramilitaries. OI09, the passage of new restrictions for firearms led to the emergence of terrorist groups or lone wolf extremists capable of carrying out violent attacks and imposition of firearms bans would likely attract new members as well as further to commit violence against the government. This volume of stockpiling by extremism anticipation bans continues to concern law enforcement. And lone wolves develop bioweapons to test successful and will spread cost extinction. Alice 14, the proliferation of biotech presents the prospect of new agents. With these skills, it would be possible for a small group to inflict untold damage. These technologies provide bad actors increased capacity to deploy dangerous biological weapons, and lone wolves could have access to these skills since these technologies are being diffused to larger populations. All of the other Earth cities are connected by airline routes. If a lone wolf injected themselves with fluid on a major airline, a serious pandemic can occur, starting a global South Saudi gun ban doesn't solve for gun culture. It makes the problem worse by encouraging consumers to resist the ban with violence. Cooper 15. There are 280 million handguns, a million guns in America. Banning guns would make them disappear. They would exist illegally. If guns were banned, it would be a nightmare. It's a full-time scenario where banning it was enacted without inciting civil war. Even if it was passed, the logistics of rounding up guns would be so complicated that could never work. Gun enthusiasts are not going to hand in their guns, weapons, because things would get ugly. And reducing the risk of extinction by even a tiny percentage point still always massive structural bonds. Boston 12. The existential catastrophe is greater than 10 to 16 human life. The value of reducing the existential risk by 1 million 1 percentage points is the 100 times value of a million human lives. Even the time structure of existential risk has a greater value greater than definite provision of saving 1 million lives. Next with the disclosure and review. First, you cannot justify competing interests with reasonability. So you should prefer reasonability because it starts with theory debate. Because as long as I'm proving reasonable, then we never have to have a theory debate of who is marginally more fair. Also, you should prefer reasonability because of specificity. Because we can analyze things on a case-by-case basis as opposed to just having large norms. Also, don't let him respond to the issue of theory paradigm because he already took a stance on theory in the 1AC, which means that he cannot now justify a way that I should have responded in the 1AC. So do not let him justify competing interests. You're going to prefer reasonability. So as long as I can put defense on the standards and prove that I'm being reasonable, then I do not violate. So first, as an benefit, counter-interpretation debaters do not have to disclose open source if they also disclose full text. And advantage of this is evidence ethics because if people are also always disclosing full source, it doesn't encourage them to actually read the arguments that people have disclosed and ensure that there isn't any evidence ethics. People can just keep copying other people's open source, and then we would people keep copying other people's open source on his standards first on deep research. Turn these deep research. Open source does not encourage research; it just encourages other debaters to still steal and copy and paste arguments off of other people's open source, which means that we just now have literally one open source document that all other schools have adopted. There's no more for why me disclosing open source would encourage other people or would encourage deeper research. This just means that we literally have one open source and now the community shares. Also, this outweighs free writing because research is what influences free writing to begin with, and also free writing. I don't free write. This is a specific because I disclose full text and I don't steal other people's open source. Prefer this argument in context of reasonability because it's a case-by-case basis. You cannot punish me because I specifically didn't free write. Also, it's not falsifiable. He doesn't provide any evidence that says I did open source, so you should jump the shell. Okay, now on solvency. Off of Masket, one empirically denied civil rights legislation from 60 years ago, racism until racism in this country. 2, drug legislation proves marijuana has been a scheduled drug for scheduled one substance drug for 50 years, and most of the population has targeted at some point. This proves that laws don't shape culture off of a law. This proves nothing. There are physicians that ban makes it hard to access guns, and not that it causes a cultural shift against them. And group new evidence. One, alternative causes for military expenditures. A, the situation doesn't influence military expenditures. That's a policy option that culture has no effect on. B, there are other countries with stringent gun control that spend excessive amounts on military. North Korea and China prove. 2, alternative causes for decreases in violence increases for preference for violent filmed action movies that come out closer to Christmas do worse than those who are released during other times of the year. And 3, are evidence outweighs on specificity spending on gun movies only indicates a tangential connection between policies and people's attitudes about guns, or evidence directly observe people's attitudes about gun ownership and gun bans. That's the thing.
Okay, you just didn't read the
unpaid stuff.
Alright, I'm just gonna quickly read that.
Yeah.
Alright, ready for S6?
Mm-hmm.
Status of the alt.
Conditional.
Condo or uncondo?
Sorry, conditional. Condo.
Okay, so you get to kick it for whatever.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's go to the alt. You say that we need to promote gun responsibility. Is that something we personally do in the round?
So the alternative is a question of the way the judge orients themselves. The AF would say the judge should orient themselves towards gun culture in a way that gun culture is bad and is irredeemable. The alternative would suggest that the judge should orient themselves towards gun culture in a way that it is redeemable and we can repurpose it for good and
okay, so you just seem to read these reasons as to why gun culture is intractable, and then use it as a justification for embracing a culture of gun responsibility. Why can't
That's one of the arguments.
So if I win that handguns are a bad thing or have bad effects, wouldn't that be a reason why? All right, let me ask: is the alt a floating pick? Can it result in the AF?
I will not go for floating pick.
Is there any way in which we can have a culture of gun responsibility and a handgun ban?
So I'm not going to go for floating pick.
Yeah, but I'm asking.
I would argue that the alternative fits all case.
Okay. How does the alternative get rid of militarism? It sounds like a culture of gun responsibility. How are you going to ensure people actually do that? Your arguments are like the culture's already in track.
No, so we have empirical evidence to suggest that in the 40s and 50s were defined by a culture of gun
Yeah, you
responsibility.
have an observational study where they're like, hey, look what happened here. Here's one example. Here's a second example.
So no,
Like,
we
how's
have
that
several
prove
empirics
that?
we have several empirics in our critique. The one example would be the example in the alternative. The alternative gives
That's fine. Let's
in
go.
Switzerland, and then the other would be the example.
Sorry, what's the impact of the DA? Just like
Of the
solvency?
Of the dissat?
Yeah, no, the K. The K.
What do you mean? What is the impact?
What's the impact?
Like if I win my alternative, I win the round. What do you mean?
What's the impact?
Oh, okay. So
Does it just solve case? Is this just a turn-on case?
no, there are several arguments. The first and the Pearson evidence is that the only way is that gun responsibility is the only way that we can have valued life. So we need to come.
Okay, so it's key to value to fine. Let's go to the DA. You say right-wing extremism is declining right now, and that it'll come back. Who are these right-wing extremists?
So it explains lone wolf extremists and
Lone wolf. Who are these people? Like, I feel
I
like
can't give you a
Obama's
list of
exos
names.
probably would have triggered this already. Can you give me a single example of who was going to take
no. So
over?
the reason why Obama's XO didn't pass it is because the OIO9 or the dissat is specific to a gun ban. That is an example of an extremely far left approach.
Okay, so you just say that the AF is far left, but the K isn't, obviously, and
Well, the critique is
therefore,
conditional, first of all.
therefore lone wolves are going to develop bioweapons. These lone wolf extremists that we don't know about are going to kill us all
Okay,
if there's a handgun ban.
so when you say we don't know that lone wolves exist, that's different. You ask me like who they are. Like you want me to give you a list of names?
It's fine. 5 minutes. I mean, would have helped.
We're in school all the time. It's the bulldogs. No, salt dogs. Oh my god. How are the teachers do? Beats me. There's no. Is this like the tradition the TOC has speech or has it had every year? More pop. How are you doing this morning? Don't consult you. I thought about that for a long time and I was like, oh, that's brilliant. Nobody's ever thought of that. If you have to go to the don't consult you. Yeah, that's correct. I mean, we did it. We read this stuff on the TN topic that was like, we need to see them with this process is that. I guess it works with the other teams. Just go. But the generic full data. You can do it with everything, right? Consult China, consult Russia. The cards are decreasing quality.
Stop that 201.
Use or left?
Left.
Do you have an order? Yeah. Let me save that. Order will be the AC, then the K, then the DA.
Okay.
Or sorry, over AC, DA, K.
Anything you want to start on the
Yeah, top. Start on the framing, and then it'll be on the solvency. And then the other E.
It's the same doc, right? Just updated.
It's under the underview. Yeah, sorry, I left the extra stuff in there. Pretty open. Yeah, just. No, that's not it. Wait, did you close the doc on your computer first?
No.
Okay, because I just saved on the same docs. You're gonna need to close that first. Flash drives.
Wait, I still don't see it.
I'll just resave, please. Alright. Judge ready? Okay. Starting for AC top down. You already had the order.
Extend the role about us to deconstruct militarism and fight back against it. Hack 11 something that is try or die because they're going to lead to extinction through multiple causes. Climate change threat, new wars, conflicts over resources, and wealth concentration. And you have conceded this. You also conceded Lentz, which says that militarism is a discourage across its base and our societal beliefs and values means the only way in order to fight back against it is through gun culture under the Wolfman and Gibble analysis. Now, on the solvency to extend mask of 15% legal, change that didn't affect cultural change. You say civil rights movement and drug disprove, but there are still some changes. We've seen poverty, health insurance, abortion, second same-sex marriage, which have shown some amount of positive results. Only in the last 50 years have we seen any real movement in the same-sex realm of civil rights movement. Anyways, now onto this, onto Lemieux. You read multiple indexes in Lemieux in a way you get to extend the Lafayette evidence, which says that which definitely outweighs because it is U.S. specific and gives a meta regression analysis and across multiple different counties and states. Well, and it's also U.S. specific, which means it definitely co-ops that advantage. I'll do more weighing on your evidence specifically. You probably should answer this as well. Now onto the interview. Extend K99, which says that which says that the handgun is a racist symbol of white privilege, which means that it's unique. Benefit that the act gets rid of that the case not able to solve for. Now on the disclosure debate, you say for reasonability, fine, I'll concede it, but you said the free writing argument that you free read, you say that you don't, but that's not falsifiable. Also, I can prove to call the wiki. I also have it on my desktop. I have a downloaded photo of your wiki. You didn't open source this free writing. Definitely outweighs any sort of deeper research because it prevents it. It allows for you to get any sort of argument you want. It allows for you to use all that. Whether or not you use it, it's a different matter. But the fact that you justified it and allow for it, it's a bad thing to extend. Drop the debate since it's too a little late to since we need to move on to community norms. Now go to the DA. One normal means includes a national registry of guns, which means the government can surveil to effectively prevent any domestic uprising from ridiculous right-wing extremists. Two, we don't even know who those people are. And also the absolves gun culture, which is root cause by whole advantage turns to dissad. O'Brien and Markle 98. The recent emergence of the new citizen and militia, the result of an ordinarily squares regression analysis, we consider the groups of motivated veterans to overthrow government and are associated with large populations of war, veterans and ardent gun owners, the politically disinterested population with the greater propensity for violence. And three, non-unique link turn. Hillary is winning now, which will piss off extremists way more than a gun ban. But the avenues voters towards Republicans and censorship pieces them enough to prevent a big uprising. And four, reject the DA on ethics. It makes sense we should be holding whatever right extremist things, but if we were that, it would prevent meaningful social change like not doing the civil rights movement because of the KKK. And five, militarism outweighs try diode of Pac 11 evidence. Also, Obama's exo should have triggered the link already. Now, on the impact of the technical barriers prevent bioterror, Tucker 99. Different several examples like chemical or biological terrorism can get an attack requires overcome major hurdles gaining access to specialized ingredients and quantity of equipment and know how productive and dispersed creating an organization structure back to it are difficult to weaponize so they will survive and live and effective dispersal disease disrupted by environmental meteorological conditions. Particles will not launch and lungs will not remain suspended for long in the atmosphere. And no extinction, space.com. Crowd-trotted an expert on chemical and biological weapons said the threat of virus wiping out the entire human disease is not really new strength to emerge from a few decades ever evolving medical treatments overcome and be more concerned about an asteroid. Also, now go to the K. On the link evidence, cross-applying the Lafayette evidence reads that they which empirically presented to a D creates a band and it's also US-specific, which is specific to bands and homicide. Takes into account multiple factors, also takes into control to look at homicide rates and substitution effects, also multi-regression analysis definitely always takes into it's a meta-study, which it's only just one study and it's observational at best. Now, also classifying masculine evidence says that the laws can affect the culture, so even which definitely takes out your intractable arguments, at least it's a risk of offense, try or die, definitely stops for that. Lastly, on the all term too, both it's no reason why we can't have gun responsibility and ban handgun tankers are a bad thing, which you have conceded under the King analysis, which means that we should get rid of them as irresponsible gun advocates. It's also classified the POC's 2K evidence out of the end, which says you were not engaged in politics, which it is allowed, which leads to authoritarianism more turns the K. Now, also ordered on the you say condo, when condo is treating in a voting nation, one is unstable, you create a necessary and sufficient for resistance. If I lose CP, it leads to red, but winning CP means that you'll kick it. Also, yeah, that's fine.
Alright, which ones did you what did you do? You did the zero card, which standards did you have?
I just read the first one.
Okay. Everything else you wrote down?
Yeah.
Okay, do you know how much time I have left?
You had like 230, 240.
You had I wrote it down. 228.
Watching one thing, it's already a dog.
What's the order?
Okay, the order is going to be first on the case interview where he the disclosure. Yeah, it's going to be disclosure, then disad. Okay. And then on the critique, there'll be an overview first. Okay. Is Everyone ready? On the issue of disclosure, you've conceded that there is a net benefit to not disclosing injustice, disclosing open source. That is the evidence ethics standard that you've conceded. The evidence ethics explains that it is better to actually not do open source than to do, and rather than just disclose open source, because otherwise people are always just going to be copying and pasting other people's open sources into their own, and they're not actually going to be reading the evidence. Whereas with open source or with full text, if you disclose that, what it means you actually have to read the arguments in order to and read the highlighted text in order to highlight down arguments, which means you can check for any evidence ethics violations off of free writing. You try to explain this, you try to extend this and say that it's not falsifiable, that I don't free write. However, it's also not falsifiable to say that I do. So you should just reject the standard on face, because and at least I'm putting defense on it. Whether you in your case you've conceded the evidence ethics standard completely trees, I have 100% strength of link to that. So under reasonability paradigm, you would obviously not drop me because I don't open source, because I've proven a net benefit not only to not I've put sufficient defense on open source, but I've also provided a net benefit to disclosing full text. So you don't evaluate. So yeah, that's irrelevant. Now go to the dissat. I would concede no impact of dissat, not going for it. On the critique, starting with condo, counter-interpretation, the negative may mean run conditional advocacy and go for either that advocacy or fast movement to an arsenal culture office advocacy to because the tailor their strategy and then collapse the app office self-written in context of status quo, which means there's no abuse because all they have to do is answer the counter-information, or they have to do anyway. Net benefits is one is net cost, the app is an infinite program, and ability to app from like the one is the ever possible net positive position condoms allowing case keep applying the negative test the app from multiple perspectives and compensate for the fact that the net has to form with the strategy in one round within the limited layer and reciprocity. The app is firms which are functionally conditional advocacy. The only app has to do is show that the firm is better than the my advocacy when net conditionality is reciprocal, because it allows the net to test the app advocacy with counterpoints in the same way. And off of your standard, you say unstability, but you conceded reasonability. So one, it's obviously reasonable for me to have one advocacy which is not unstable, and also I'm going for it. So there's no instability. If anything, Okay, so now is an overview of the critique. A couple comments you conceded, a couple patriarchs. First, that you conceded the IMP to value of life. So even if you win your argument that a gun ban would solve for gun violence, you've conceded that you kill value of life because your totalizing view prevents the ability for us to conform with death in the defense of value, which is key to pedagogy of social responsibility. So you've conceded the IMP value of life. You've also conceded the alternative solves case because in a gun responsibility we no longer have things like violent militarism, because we recognize the responsibility that guns have, which means that we aren't going to just be randomly killing people if we recognize the responsibility that comes with gun ownership. So first, extend Peterson evidence. You do not make any extend Peterson evidence that explains. I've already explained this argument. That the one I see kills gun culture and kills value of life because you approach gun violence as gun culture is irredeemable. The only cross application you make is Lafayette. However, Lafayette you say that you should prefer because it has empirics, but the empirics and Lafayette evidence are specific to the arguments that it decreases crime. There's no empirical evidence that says that it is actually solved in gun culture. You should prefer the alternative. You should prefer the critique because it actually gives empirical evidence that gun culture is it gives empirical evidence in the relationship to gun violence and gun culture, which means that you should prefer. You can also extend the Giroux evidence that explains that a trans case because focusing on gun control as opposed to pedagogical trends which encourage violence, evidence distracts from the root cause of militarism, and addressing the root cause is the only way that we're ever going to be able to solve for militarism. You can see the trans case, which means even though I get access to any of your impacts, you cannot weigh the app in context of the critique insofar as you conceded this. Also, so you can extend the Bachman 12 evidence. This is the alternative is to embrace a culture of gun responsibility. You can see the empirics inside. The alternative, which explains that Switzerland is a great example, which besides despite a large prevalence of weapons, we still have a culture of gun responsibility and very low gun culture, which is solvency for alternative. You can also extend the Peterson, or you can also extend the you can extend Peterson 15 evidence, which explains which is another empirical example of the critique, which explains that in the 40s and 50s were defined by a culture of gun responsibility, but there was still there was a lot more guns and less restrictions. However, we are still, it was still defined as a culture of responsibility. Also, you can extend the Gollum 15 evidence. This is going to be the most important argument because it explains that gun culture is inevitable. It's in the cultural DNA of America. You do not respond to the warrants in the Gollum 15 evidence. It explains that even though there may be laws banning weapons, there's always going to be gun ownership, which means you cannot eliminate because there is there will always be gun ownership. So even if you do ban guns, there is still a risk that gun culture will exist. In the case of that risk, you're always going to prefer the alternative because the alternative, as opposed to just saying that will be sufficient, it says it can actually repurpose the gun culture, which means that's always going to be preferred to the alternative because the alternative solves the case. So first off of your permutations, the first problem with your permutations is that links are dissets to the firm, especially the other links are dissets to the firm. permutations. So you would never want to do ban handguns and do the alternative, because a ban of handguns prevents the value of life argument. The also another dissent, also insofar as alternative solves the case, any risk of the link is sufficient to just do the alternative. You make a couple dissents to the alternative. The first is that you say that I'm not engaging in the state. However, you can see the Jones evidence, which explains that critical intellectualism is key. You can also classify this to any sort of roll of the ballot extortion argument. He's trying to make in the next speech, roll of the ballot, just education arguments. It can't exclude pieces of office. If anything, I'm also engaging in the deconstruction of militarism and in a more effective way. So you were still going to be negating. Also, the critical intellectualism argument, answers to not engaging in a state argument. The next argument you make is that handguns are bad symbols. However, handguns are racist symbols. However, the alternative would solve for this, because if we create a culture of gun responsibility, that means we're not going to be using the guns for racist means. You've not provided a warrant for why, just because historically guns have been tools of racism, why that necessarily would mean so in the world of the all, or why the affirm would solve that. So it's not sufficient to affirm. So basically, the alternative is the alternative is the only way that we have valued life. It solves the case. The permutation doesn't work. You only want to do the alternative. What else?
Okay. I have 228, or sorry, 201. Sorry, yeah. AC overview on the K, and then it'll be K top there. Or sorry, K. AC overview of the K, affirms, and I'll sign this from there. Okay. All ready? Judge ready? Extend the role of how to deconstruct militarism and the tridiagram and impact of 11 that militarism is going to lead to concentration of wealth powers and conflicts over resources and climate change. That these are things that this is conceded on the last just try or die for the try or die, which means that it is going to happen either way. Your case receives solvency and to the F and a better solvency, but you can't win off of a solvency, or you can't win off of a you solve better, because a firm is able to extend the solvency under the F, specifically Lafayette, which says that I'm able to solve for the culture impacts, as well as Mass 15, which you conceded on the last that is a big problem when you can see that legal change can affect cultural change. Means even if gun culture is really bad, it can still create some effect on the culture, which is still a net benefit to doing the YAF. Also extend the Kane analysis. It's a unique benefit to the YAF because it can't get its analysis solidarity against the black neighbors. Go to the K. Overview to the K.
Your links are just saying I am totalizing by focusing on guns. You say I'm distracting from the root cause and I'm totalizing. The perm shields the link. Extend the perm that we can do both. We can have proper gun culture and gun responsibility and see that the handgun is a bad thing and ban it because it is not responsible to own a handgun. The Cahan analysis is the first net benefit. Extend Cahan 99, which says that after the MLK assassinations and other impacts of the gun always symbolizes white male status, and by getting rid of it, we get rid of the handgun as a denial of solidarity. We are in solidarity now with our black neighbors now. That is a net benefit that you were not able to solve for with just the K alone. That is a net benefit to the perm now. Also, you make a new argument. You say it's no reason to solve, but that's new in the two, and you also conceded this evidence, which is definitely outweighs. Also, preempted this since it gives the analysis of MLK as an instance. Now, onto your Switzerland analysis. You say Switzerland. You say that Switzerland shows that it would be able to solve, but you said in the NC you did wrong, where you said there's a cultural difference between the United States and other evidences. That was a reason to prefer one of your other pieces of evidence, but I'll use it now to cross out the Lafayette evidence, which definitely takes it out since Switzerland is homogenous, whereas the U.S. is heterogeneous, which means that it definitely always takes into account multiple factors and the varying degrees of gun culture across the United States. Now, the fourth reason to do we'll extend the Lafayette. It also said that it is a multi-regression analysis and controls the most sites and substitution and homicide and other factors. Now, onto your Golem evidence. You say this is the most important card, but it just says it's inevitable and there will always be some ownership. The Lafayette definitely takes this out since it says gives an empirical analysis saying that we can curtail a private possession, and then goes one step further to say curtailing private possession would affect culture, even then the links debate is functionally gone. Extend, or now on the alt, extend the Boggs analysis. This is the second to last net benefit to the perm. Boggs says that by not engaging in politics, we risk authoritarianism, war, and slavery, and other really bad things that you conceded. Your Jones evidence doesn't take this out, because even under critical education, we still needed to know what it is important, how the state works, and how it operates in order to be effective at educators or create effective demands on the state, which it means that it is a to the alt, and it also turns the alt, because you lead to a lot of bad things like slavery and to imperialism. Lastly, on the links debate, although it extend the Lafayette evidence definitely takes it to that. It says that even if we focus on one thing, there are other issues that we can look at that solve back. There's solvency.